Check, check. Hey, what's happening? Gonna do some Coltrane tunes. And if you're tuning in and you haven't seen the tune list, I'm gonna just play my favorites. Basically, I'm gonna start with a tune that he wrote, pretty sure for Sonny Rollins, called Like Sonny. And there's some great recordings of this tune. That the only one that I can really think of is obviously the one Train did. He did a couple of takes on this one, which is really awesome. What's interesting about the takes on the Giant Steps album that this is recorded on, I'll turn the mic up a little bit, sorry, is that the rhythm section is doing different stuff in those takes. So if you check out, like, my favorite one is alternate take number 2 or 3, I think it's 3. He does a lot of really, like, interesting stuff over that different groove. It's the groove that they're playing behind him that really, I think it changes up the way that he's phrasing over that song. We got Laura from Connecticut. What's happening, Laura? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Welcome to John Coltrane Live. What's going on in Connecticut? I don't really get to go up there too often. I play some weddings up there every once in a while, but yeah. But yeah, I was saying the first tune I'm gonna do is Like Sonny, and there's another great recording of Kenny Garrett playing this tune on, I believe it's just like a tribute album he did to Coltrane, album called Pursuance. He's playing the music of John Coltrane. So definitely worth checking those recordings out. In general, this tune kind of has a modal flavor to it. You know, it's just moving. Here it's moving in minor thirds, and then here it's moving in major thirds. And that's, you know, this is a really unique composition. A lot of Train's tunes were kind of like a perfect mix of like exercise plus melody and plus just fun factor. And I talked about this in the Benny Golson live stream. It's just, you want to have a good combination of not making the tune too challenged or sound too much like a technical exercise, and also not just making the melody too simple and things like that. So I think he does this really well on this, unlike Sonny. But yeah, let's I'm gonna play some. Make sure I get the level right. And then please, if anybody hears anything sounding off, if anything sounds weird, please let me know so I can fix it as soon as possible. We don't have to listen to crappy audio at any point. Yeah, but anybody tuning in, thanks for being here. Like Sonny. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. I forgot to start recording with this other camera. Sorry about that. Anybody know any other versions of that tune? I really only know Coltrane's and Kenny Garrett's, which are both killing. I'm wondering if maybe there's like some cool trio versions of this song. It's really fun to play. Once you get the tonalities and the key centers under your fingers, even if you're just playing like pentatonics over all of these sounds, because there's such a shift in the sound that you're playing, it just sounds great. Yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, anybody else tuning in that has anything they want to add, feel free. The next one I was going to do is this tune Spiral. That's off of the Giant Steps album that he recorded, I believe, in like 1961, 62, which just has so many, or maybe it's 1960. Every song on that album is like just like a quintessential Coltrane song. I could literally play that album. If that's like one of my like Desert Island albums, I guess, where it just never seems to get old for me. Because of the playing, but also because of the compositions. Just like it's really, really beautiful stuff. And yeah, this one, Spiral, is also on there. Interesting tune. Like you'll see, this one has this, D pedal and these descending triads over the D pedal. I'm usually going to try and play these as a dominant chord. And then the bridge, it's A, A, B, A, but the A's are 12 bars and the B is 8 bars, so that's also interesting. Interesting composition. Got some comments here. Saxophone Dan from Canada. Man, thanks for tuning in, Quebec. Where do you ever get to play any of the clubs in Quebec? I got to tour there with a Canadian pianist named John Stetch. I don't know if you ever heard of John, but we played in Quebec, and really beautiful town. I love that place. Laura, really nice. Thanks. Much appreciated. What software am I using? Yeah, for anybody curious, I thought this is, I should have mentioned this in previous live streams, but this is the iReal Pro app, and I just downloaded it for my computer. So I'm just using that basically, and I have it running through a program that's capturing the sound from that, so that I can do it on the live stream. But pretty simple stuff. This backing track sound, I mean, I don't hate these sounds that I get out of it. It is a backing track. It's a bunch of robots, that's always a little bit of a drag. But for practicing purposes, you can do a lot with this stuff. You can change the key, change the tempos, the amount of repeats. You can actually make it transpose up a half step every chorus, which is, on some tunes you probably wouldn't want to do that because you'd go crazy. But on like a blues or something, if you're trying to practice, playing in all the keys, there's a lot of different stuff you can do with that. Yeah, thanks for asking. Let's play some Spiral. Let's see here. Put this away. Does that look okay? Let's fit this on the screen better. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, here we go. Get the volume right. So yeah, right there, like that's a good example of maybe not the best ending, and that's why this backing track isn't always ideal. But man, it's such a cool tune. Like I have trouble navigating the jungle of these descending half steps sometimes, but I gave it a shot, And sometimes I was playing all these like dominant chords, but sometimes it's good or okay, to play them as triads with a major 7. But usually I'm just thinking like major the entire time. We got a comment here from Laura. I assume for this live stream you're visually aware of the chords from iReal Pro, but if you were to play Spiral without seeing the chords, how different do you think your rendition would be? Oh, that's a great question. I have these memorized, so I don't honestly think it would be that different. It's helping me, to be able to see the chords. I probably am thinking creatively of some different stuff because the chords are there. But in general, any of these tunes that I'm going to do on a stream like this or perform, I don't want to be reading the chords, or I'd want to have memorized. So in all honesty, I don't think it would change too much. I have the chords here just because it makes it, from a live stream perspective, more interesting to watch, and so that everybody can kind of be on the same page, especially like for me when I don't know a song and I can have the chords in front of me. It makes the listening experience like a lot better for me to have that visual element of seeing what the chords are. This is a great question though. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's the main reason why I put them on the screen, is because I know just personally I'm thinking of, I would want to know what the changes were if it was a tune I didn't know. So this hopefully encourages people to check out some of these songs, because these are great, just classic tunes. We see how fast the changes are. Yeah, there's a lot of chords in these tunes, and the magic of improvisation is knowing how to simplify that. I'm not trying to play every chord or arpeggiate every chord. And if I did, it wouldn't sound melodious or sound good. And sometimes I get carried away, and I will be doing that in the improvisation, and that can take away from the musical side of it. But again, Coltrane was he was such a technical master of the music. So he was able to sometimes, he would fill those changes up with just brilliant and amazing stuff. But, from a listening perspective, you do want to have a contrast, of slower things, or just, being able to hold one note over the top of a progression, which you'll see on the melody to like Moment's Notice. That's what's so magical about some of these melodies, is like this whole 4 bars is based off of 3 notes. But you see there's like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 chords that happen in here, and none of them are the same. But Train was able to write a melody that is only 3 notes, and it fits over all these different chords. Pretty fascinating stuff, to be honest. But yeah, that's a long answer for a short question. But yeah, I'm gonna play some Moment's Notice. I sent out an email before this. Some of you probably saw, but Train is the reason I play improvised music. I remember the first time I got to college and was kind of struggling with improv and not really able to make sense of it. And it was just difficult. It was very esoteric to me. I didn't necessarily understand or feel like I had a good example of what I wanted to sound like. And then I bought the record Blue Train and put on Blue Train and listened to that opening track. And the first line that Coltrane plays on Blue Train just kind of blew me away. I'm playing an alto, but... I can't play it in alto, but he plays, this long first chorus where he's holding out like kind of one note and riffing off one idea over that first chorus. And I remember listening, I was like, this is kind of cool. And then he comes out of the end of that first chorus and he plays this just really, really slick, like this line, and then he gets into the groove of his solo. But the way that he set up that solo in that first chorus I don't know, man. It just changed. It literally like changed something in my mind about how I thought about music, and then I just kind of never looked back. I listened to that whole album. I memorized all the songs on that album and learned them really well, and yeah, it just changed my life. So this is another tune that was on Blue Train. That album was recorded in 1957, I think in like September. His first album on Blue Note, and the whole album is just magic. If you haven't checked Blue Train out, please do yourself a favor and do that. Saxophone Dan. I've heard of John Stetch, but I can't remember if I've seen him live. Upstairs, Montreal is a great venue. Yeah, that's where we played. We played at Upstairs, which is basement, ironically. I think that, or like you go downstairs to get to upstairs. Yeah, place. Awesome musicians there. Vincent Scuderi, New Hyde Park, New York, in between music students. Hey, man, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. I'm going to get to some playing, so hopefully you can hear a tune before your next student. Let's see here. Make sure I get the levels right. Yeah, I usually play that one on tenor a lot. So sometimes, this is where I was kind of cheating by reading the changes, and it didn't really help that much, to be honest, because the changes are in C and I have to transpose, but whatever. Sometimes I was in there, because I know this song so well in tenor, I ended up playing the tenor changes a little bit. But I tried to get away from that and get back as soon as possible to the alto changes. But yeah, this one is a very harmony heavy song, but a great one to learn, just because you learn these really cool substitutions. So like, you have a typical 2-5-1 happening here, and really this is the main point of this 4 bars, is just this 2-5 going to 1. But then you have all these other subs around it, so a half step below the 2-5 is happening in the first bar. So that's kind of a cool substitution that usually you don't see, actually. I think, I'm sure, guys like Tad Dameron would do stuff like this before Train, but not a lot of composers were writing things like this. So this is, where the exercise element comes in. Train was doing stuff like this to just give himself, more of a harmonic imagination when he was improvising over just like regular tunes. I feel like that's part of the point of sometimes writing these types of harmonic, gymnastics, or putting these harmonic jungle gyms inside of a tune. But yeah. Let's check out some Naima. This is a beautiful song that he wrote for his wife at the time. And this is kind of the opposite of a tune like Moment's Notice, where really the point here is the pedal. There's some really beautiful and colorful harmonies happening in here, but it's in general like very like a calming sort of sound. Great, thanks, Vincent. I think John Coltrane had a perfect balance between cerebral stuff and voice-like expression. Thank you, SK. Yeah, I agree, totally. His expression, let's leave this up here. The way that he would play melodies is just such a beautiful thing. It's almost like it was coming like straight from his soul. And his concept of time too was so elastic that you didn't even you wouldn't necessarily need to feel a pulse with what he's playing, because he's so connected to where the beat is. The interesting thing about him playing ballads is a lot of times, especially when the rhythm section was just playing in a ballad tempo or with a wide open quarter note, he would only play the melody. It's hard to find recordings of him where he's improvising on a ballad, and I think even on the studio recording of Naima, he only plays the melody, and then it's a McCoy Tyner solo or Tommy Flanagan solo. This is also off of Giant Steps. There's some live versions of this tune where he'll improvise on the chord changes, but for the most part, yeah, a lot of his ballad playing, he's just playing melody, which is awesome. But yeah, let's check out some Naima. Oops, sorry guys. Check, check. All right. Yeah. Oh man, I love it. I've spent a lot of years, working on this tune, so it kind of flows naturally for me. I was gonna try and play this on alto, but it's that same thing where I played it on tenor so many times I couldn't come up with, couldn't like break the just the way it feels to play it on tenor. Some good questions here. Are you still playing on the JL Woodwinds alto? Yes, I love it. It's like really compact, and I haven't been shedding as much alto. I'm about to start shedding, a ton, just to get the, the exactly like the great zing and the sound that I want. But that's the last alto I'm ever gonna own. I'm pretty sure of it. It feels great, and the model I have, this alto, is actually a prototype. This is one of the first ones he ever made, and it has, some of the elements that the horns have now, but the ones he makes now are actually better in some ways. A little bit more sturdily built. Like I said, this one's really light, so I think the ones he's making now have a little bit more of a weight to them, but it's in all the right places and all the right ways. So yeah, I'm playing the JL alto, great horn. The tenor I had was amazing. I love his horns. I'm about to get another gold one, which, by the way, we are in the presence of greatness. Luis Hernandez in the house. Luis has the Cuban tenor is what he's calling it. He has the JL Artist series. That's a gold-plated one. I'm about to get one exactly like the one that Luis has. I love those horns. But speaking of that, what horn am I playing on now? This is a Shore sax, which I may keep, I may not keep. I'm trying to sell it, but nobody seems to want to buy it. I love the horn. It plays really nicely in tune, and it does everything I want to do. I've been using it on all my gigs. The idea that I had was, this is created by John Petrocelli, and he's located in New Jersey. The idea with this one is just you wanted to make like an affordable sax that sort of is like a homage to the vintage horns, but with, you know, less expensive parts, basically. So yeah, I was just using this in the meantime of getting my JL tenor. But honestly, this one has very similar like sonic qualities to the JL tenor. It's just a really great sax and does everything I want it to do. So anybody's interested, it's $250 off, $22.99 is the MSRP or whatever. John Petrocelli is selling these for $2,500, but I'll give it to you because I've already played it. But honestly, a lot of times when horns are broken in like this, they're actually better. You don't have to deal with taking it to a repair shop back and forth to get things worked out when it's a new horn. Sometimes keys, like pads will fall out or some kind of random stuff. I didn't have anything like that happen with this one, but like there's definitely like a break-in process. This thing is like good to go. So yeah, send me a DM if you want this horn. Let's do some Satellite. I'm gonna try and do this on an alto. Wish me luck. Laura, such a beautiful song. Clearly showed love for his then wife. Yeah, absolutely. He put the, you know, that's what if you write a song for your wife and it's not a good song? Luckily that one was. You know, I don't know how Alice felt about that. I don't know if there's a song called Alice that Coltrane ever wrote, but you know, he really did put in the time with that one and made a beautiful song out of it. Absolutely. Yeah, so I think I'm going to try this on alto, and this one is kind of in the opposite direction, back towards the moment's notice side of things, where there's just a ton of changes on this, and this is his version of the Coltrane changes basically applied to ornithology, the chord changes to ornithology, but he has the cycle, the Coltrane cycle. So so those first four bars are utilizing, so it's going up a minor third, down a major third, but the whole Coltrane cycle is based around the idea that we're moving down tonalities in major thirds. That's the idea. And you'll see here, it goes G major, then down to E flat major, then down to B major, and then in ornithology, you know, it's normally just like major key, 2, 5, 1, down a whole step. So that 2, 5, 1 is happening in the last bar, and then down a whole step, and then again, the same cycle, but down a whole step. And then it appears in other variations throughout the chord progression, but that's the main gist of the tune. Say a prayer for me. I'm going to give this a crack on alto. Let's check it out. Crap. So, yeah, that, I mean, whatever. Fun, super fun to play on this one. I feel like my voicing is a little off on alto, so I'm maybe like a little bit below the pitch. And then my dang C sharp was sticking because I've been using my key leaves at the end there, but party. Check out Satellite if you haven't. This one, I think what's great about this tune is this vamp at the end. This like, it just gives you a chance to like kind of break free of this cacophony of harmony shifts that's happening. Getting to stretch out over this is really nice. There's a live version of Seamus Blake playing this tune with like Ari Honig, and I think it's Dave Kukowski on piano, and I'm not sure who the bass player is, but he's a very well-known bass player. Live at Smalls, you can find it somewhere. It's on YouTube, but they go in on that song, just like it's so good. And what they do at the end, and I think Train does this on his recording, is he stretches out the vamp. I think Train does it at the very, very end. It's just like a way of ending the tune. But Seamus, on that, like they made it so that the vamp is open, and then they just go to work on that. That open section is freaking awesome. Such phenomenal play. Thank you, man. I appreciate that very much. Thanks so much for sharing and doing these. Time to drag myself to the shed. Have a great day. Yeah. Oh man, it's my pleasure. It's an honor to get to play for y'all. We got a Chicago cat in the house. What's up? Ghana Man B. Yeah, bro. Satellite, dude. I want to hear you play on Satellite. Danny Aguilar, cat. Yeah, I should have played that on tenor, but whatever. You think Seamus is at Smalls or Luis Hernandez? Because either way, I'm gonna go. I want to go. I want to hear both of them. But yeah, thank you so much, Laura. Appreciate you. I'm gonna do one more. This one I posted in the on my Instagram whether people wanted me to do a Lee Morgan set or a John Coltrane set. And John Coltrane won the vote, but not by much. A lot of people wanted to hear Lee Morgan, and actually Lee Morgan was off to an early start on the voters list, but he did not win. But it was like like 80 to 100. So like a lot of people wanted to hear the the Lee Morgan set, which would have been fun, and I still may do at some point. But I was working on this tune Speedball, and it's a blues in D flat. And it's just really fun to play, so I'm going to play that one for you. Hopefully the sounds of my saxophone will not make the baby continue to cry. Uh, September 18th, Seamus live at Smalls. Awesome. Yeah. Give this a crack. And hopefully my baby Lolly digs it. She might even show up on the live stream. Who knows? Here we go. Speedball. That key always kicks my ass. Cats. It's so cool to get to play for everybody who tuned in. Thanks for showing up and dropping a line. Great to see everybody. I'm gonna go relieve my wife of her baby duties because getting this hour is not easy these days, but it's definitely worth it to just still get to play and stay in shape and stuff. But I also miss the baby when I don't see her. So thanks everybody for being here. Hope you dug the Coltrane set. And if you want to hear another one or something else in the future, please let me know what that is, and we'll try and make it happen. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.